Hello, this is Dr. Nish Sonwalkar, and let me briefly describe to you adaptive learning systems. As you know, the term adaptive comes from some of the work which was done earlier in engineering control theory, where they came up with the control system which would adapt to the input signal and behave appropriately to respond to that input signal. There is a well-defined theory behind adaptive control systems and also systems that would follow a particular input signal to create an output behavior which is indicative of what the input signal is. Similarly, if you look at in 70s and 80s and later part of 80s, there was a growth of artificial intelligence. We all know about that. It's called artificial AI technologies, artificial intelligence systems, which essentially again were defined in a way that they can create certain intelligent choices based on the data set which is provided as an input signal and what is expected of them to understand the rule set and then apply that rule set so that you can solve a given problem with certain intelligence. So the AI systems were rule-based expert systems on one end, or they were connectionist model, which are called neural networks. These artificial neural networks were created based on creating certain weights and certain layers of nodes, where again between the input nodes and the output nodes, there were several layers in between these connectionist model, so that you can create an input and output signal in a way that you can almost create any behavior, non-linear behavior pattern. Without going into details of all these theoretical framework, in case of educational adaptive system, what we need again is a system where we can understand how student is behaving. So that's the input signal to the system, where we can follow the behavior pattern of an individual learner, and then we can understand their performance at the end of that behavior pattern or that learning path, and then provide them immediate feedback like any system, control system, so that they can improve their trajectory to improve their performance. So this is where educational system, where adaptive systems are utilized, are the ones where the system adapts to the individual preferences and provides continuous feedback so that a student or a learner can improve their performance. So I think if you look at this model, does not follow either the expert system logic, because it's very hard to define a learner as an individual, especially human beings have so many different traits that you cannot come up with expert rules to train them. Neither you can come up with an artificial neural network which will follow the trajectory and get trained in very few cycles and provide very good feedback to the learner. So my thinking or the research went into is to create a statistical evidence-based system where once we provide a learner different learning strategies or learning pathways, observe their behavior and assess their performance at each nodal point or level where student is reaching certain competency level, and correlate that back by rotating them through different learning strategies, now we can statistically define which learning model works best. In order to achieve that, I utilized some of the higher level of statistics where we looked at the clickstream data of individual learners and then constructed a probability model so that we can understand which is the most probable model utilized here. Some of the higher level statistical models for inference which are used are Markovian chain models. So I've utilized some of these algorithms to understand how we can take the behavior clicks of the individual learner, look at their performances, rotate them through different learning strategies or learning pathways, and then statistically find that evidence that which model works best. And that's what I define as the adaptive learning systems.